Good evening. Welcome back to Nuggets Europe. 24 hours away from the start of the NBA in earnest for Nuggets fans. I'm absolutely pumped, and you'll see why whenever we're talking about it in the next few minutes. We are delighted today to be joined by Jeff Morton. Jeff from Mile High Sports, yes?
Colorado Sports CSG podcast and Mile High Sports. I have a radio show in there, so either works.
Awesome, man. Look, it's a pleasure to have you on. And I have to say, from working at Broncos Europe for the last 3 or 4 years, always been fans and friends of Nate and the team at Mile High Sports. So it is an absolute pleasure having you on.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Anytime you want me on, I'll come on.
Excellent. And we have got Nemanja from Nuggets Europe Serbia, who are now famous. Dobro veče, Nemanja.
Dobro veče. Hello.
I learned how to say hello in Serbian, but that's a story.
Nice job, my friend.
And we've also got Brad, who is in London, and I think you're wearing a Nuggets jersey there, Brad.
I'm in there. Don't worry.
City edition.
Yeah, it's hot.
Gentlemen, it's going to be an interesting, well, I guess a short episode to an extent. Jeff, I'll start with you. Obviously, tomorrow night is, I know last night that Utah were playing and stuff, but for us, like tomorrow morning for you, is the big game. Is this like Christmas Eve to you? Are you really excited, or are you like, let's go?
It's interesting because I have been a Nuggets fan for so long. You get like used to the rhythm and flow of just whatever opening day is. And this is not opening day. This is like the continuation of the season, and it is really weird. I got to admit, last night watching the games, it was really odd because it was like it felt like it was opening, but it wasn't. It's a continuation of a season, but yet I was really excited. Kind of like the best way I could put it is like it's watching the Christmas Day games. Where it's like there's games all day. You don't have to deal with your obnoxious family or anything like that. You just sit there and watch the games, and that's the way I looked at it. So yeah, I was kind of pumped.
I may or may not have fell asleep, gentlemen, during the Utah game last night. Brad, did you watch that game? It was like 11:30 last night.
Yeah, no? I was in bed. Sorry.
Nemanja, you seem, and like I've only known Nemanja now, Jeff and Brad, for 4 or 5 days, and you're a great guy. But Nemanja, you seem to be a guy that we say here, you burn the midnight oil. You're very awake at late times at night. Yeah. Did you watch the game last night?
Yes, of course. Yeah, I watched them. Look, for me, this thing is completely normal because at this time we usually have World Championship or Olympic Games. So during the summer, I usually watch basketball all day long. So for me, it's going to be completely normal. Just it's not going to be Serbia; it's going to be Nuggets.
And
even better.
And I think the big thing for Europeans, Jeff, is the game is on at an appropriate time for us, and we're not going to be crying or like losing our contact lenses while actually watching the game at 3 a.m. So no, definitely excited for that, man. Tomorrow is going to be good.
Well, I can't imagine staying up that late, to be honest with you, for the games. It's like European football, or just like Premier League football.
Yeah,
it airs really early here, so it's like you guys are 7 hours ahead of us in Denver, Nemanja, I think you guys are even
8.
an hour ahead of us. Yeah, 8.
Yeah. Yes.
And so obviously, when us, you're like waking up at 4 in the morning in order to watch that. So that's the only way we could relate. But I can't imagine staying up that late. That's got to be. That's dedication right there that I don't even have.
I watched the game last week, the scrimmage game against. Oh my god! That's how good it was. I forgot it was the last
Orlando
scrimmage. Orlando. I watched the game.
Magic. It was a Magic.
And it was hard. It was hard because you're sitting. Okay, I think your adrenaline gets you through the first quarter, and then suddenly it's like, oh my god, like this, like oh I can't. And then the next thing you know, you've woke up in the sofa and it's 9 a.m. and.
Well, yeah, how could you guys even enjoy that then? I just like I sometimes I'm like, look, I've watched so many and I've covered the Nuggets for so long that it becomes, it starts becoming a job, and even I have like this last year going to a game have lost some dedication of staying there. Like at halftime, I've been like, I could be at home right now, just doing nothing instead of being here at the arena trying to fight a crowd.
Well, for me, it's easy because I was in the music industry for so long. I was a DJ and I was playing in the nightclubs. So for me, it's completely normal to stay up all night. I just do whatever they do. And the Nuggets games just clicked for me. And it's even better. Before the Nuggets, I was watching only European basketball. And for me, that was hard because I needed to wake up early. So for me, Eastern Conference time is the best. Like when the Nuggets play on East, that's like I just wake up, drink coffee, and it's totally okay to watch the games.
Well, look, we'll sort of end the time situation here, but the first few games, for UK anyway, 6 o'clock the Heat game. There's a couple of games there at 9 o'clock our time, 10 o'clock your time, Nemanja. So quite suitable, and I'm very happy in regards to that. And hopefully after that, it won't be we've won 3 or 4 games in a row, so easy. Jeff, obviously it's been a very, very weird start to the bubble in Orlando. I guess first of all, just wondering, were you? When the whole news came out about the bubble in Orlando, did you first of all think it would actually work? And secondly, going into this game tomorrow, like the Nuggets realistically have only really had a full roster, and it's not even a full roster because who's missing?
Kent Shaw.
Yeah, he's back in Denver. So I mean, do you think? And I know Jeff, that a lot of teams may be in the same position, but do you think the Nuggets might be at a disadvantage going into tomorrow's game in relation to that?
Yeah, in a sense, it's not going to be. I mean, Michael Malone. I don't know if you guys have seen his recent press conferences, but I believe it was one before last. He started it when someone says, "How are you doing, Coach?" He says, "Fucking fantastic." It's and that was on the record. So it was like obviously it's wearing on him. The fact that the Nuggets have had to play 3 7-footers in a scrimmage in order to have a functional team.
Keep a team going.
Yeah, but it's going to be. I think the Nuggets are as close to complete as they're going to be. I don't know if Chanchar is going to make it to out there. Tim Connolly was on my radio show yesterday, and he said he was dealing with an injury situation. That could have been absolutely anything. And Vlatko foot. Yeah, and Vlatko was the one who was all over basically social media, basically showing how much he was working out at home during quarantine and all that stuff. And it was weird to not see him actually make it out there. But outside of that, they're going to have a full team, and it's just going to take them a while to work into it, to be honest with you. It's just going to – let me put you this way. They play the Miami Heat tomorrow, and I think it's going to be an adjustment, and I fully expect it to be a rough time for the Nuggets. I really do.
Oh, okay. Nemanja, do you think it's going to be a hard time tomorrow?
Yeah, I agree with you, Jeff. It's going to be a really hard time because Monte Morris, for example, he didn't play a game. Gary Harris, he didn't play a game. And I think from what I understood, the Nuggets are not complete. Even though they have the players, they have injured players, and they are hiding who is injured and who is not. We cannot know. We don't have a sense who is injured, who is not. I guess we will see tomorrow. But from what I get from the Michael Malone and everything, because I watch every press conference, of course, I have a sense we are not complete and we are going to have a really, really rough time. But on the other hand, as Michael Malone said, he will use these 8 games as a preseason games. He will not care as much for the result. Of course, he wants to win every single game, even the scrimmages, but he will use more these 8 games to make the team better and not for the result. I think it's going to be like that. We will see.
What do you think, Brad? Do you think it's going to be a whole sort of let's see what happens in these 8 games?
I'm kind of hoping that the team pulls one of the Utah Jazz 7 players victories and just demolishes it, because that's pretty much what we're playing with at the moment. What it seems like. I mean, I think they were saying Will Barton might not be fit as well, from what I was hearing, and that's going to be disastrous at small forward, I think. But yeah, I think everyone's kind of in a similar boat, because no one seems to have really hit the ground running from what I've seen in some of the scrimmage games, and the Heat have been pretty much a bit up and down as well themselves, so it's going to be a hard one to call, to be honest with you. But
yeah, like that LA game last night. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it was quite a tight game as well, wasn't it? The Lakers
went down to the last minute, didn't it?
Yeah.
So, last shot.
That shows you how awake it was last night, gentlemen. Yeah.
It was
LeBron put his own shot back, and that's how they won.
Yes. It was literally last shot, and PG-13 missed a 3-pointer for the win in the last second.
Something just occurred to me. Something just occurred to me. Brad, you came out to Denver. What was it, last year? And went to Broncos games, right? I was like, Brad. I was looking at you. You're like, yeah, that's right. That's Brad. Okay, I'm sorry. Nemanja, I'm familiar with you, Michael, too, and I was just like, Brad, that's right. Sorry to completely derail this conversation.
Don't be worried. Talking about derailing, and I have to jump in now. Talking about derailing, I'm going to jump on the train, and I have to ask you, Jeff, because I haven't really been awake on Twitter during games. Are you on the Bowl train?
I am on the let's pump the brakes on the Bowl thing, because mostly, and I know, and I said this actually on my radio show today. I know it's largely because we all want something to be excited about. But Bowl has some great attributes that you really hope will translate into being a special type of rim protector and even shooter. I mean, let's face it, he was the best shooter, one of the best shooters of the scrimmage. But honestly, he does have some serious flaws, and knowing Michael Malone the way I do, he's going to really have a hard time playing him substantial minutes, because he does freelance a bit. I mean, this for the same reason he has trouble playing Michael Porter.
With Michael Porter,
yeah. So,
but like he reminds me, lads, of playing, like it's like me playing 2K. I'll hit a good few threes in, but I can do not. That's what it's a little bit like. I'm like, oh yeah, put it in, and then I can't defend. And then I love, like, you see the wingspan he has, and like, even I know it was scrimmage games, but there was a couple of moments in those scrimmage games where it was like, oh my god, this guy could be like God, but it's gonna take a long time, isn't it? I think. To get that.
Yeah.
Still very young and raw.
Yeah, it's gonna be a bit, but but you'll see his abilities there, and I just would be surprised personally if he gets anything besides garbage time minutes right now. It's just because the rotation is so packed, you know.
If somebody is injured, then we will see him more. But if everybody is ready to go, no. And the thing, what I saw and noticed, he have a really slow shot. The good teams, good players, they will exploit it really easily. So when he enters, he plays the playoffs, he cannot do the things what he has done. So I don't think he will play in the playoffs. I don't think so.
Brad and me were still on the train. Yeah, it's a bit like Tebow back in 2011. Back on the train, choo. Here we go. Let's go, Bull, man. And you can
actually, I'm on the MPJ bandwagon right now. I think he will be really important player for us.
Well, I'm not gonna. I was gonna say about that. That was the next question, but I'll start with you, Jeff. I'm not gonna ask you in regards to his coronavirus comments, but I'm gonna ask you in regards to technically. He obviously came out and said he wants to not just be a bit part player; he wants to be, fully involved in this team. Based on what Nemanja said there, do you think MPJ will have more of an impact? Do you think he will cause this difference and maybe will get us over the line in some of these games?
Yes. Look, despite the idiotic comments that he made, I'm just going to put it that way. Despite that, he is actually very intelligent in the way he presented himself as far as becoming a basketball player within the confines of the Denver Nuggets. Because he did spend a lot of time trying to fit in, and his best attributes are some guy who just does what he does, and he provides something that no other player on this roster can do. Not a single other player. He's just that athletic and dynamic, and he is one of the best offensive rebounders I have seen in a Nuggets uniform at that position ever. He's got some special things, and if he's going to make an impact, he can't be worried about everything else. He has to go out and be Michael Porter Jr., that dynamic, explosive player that has a potential to be Kevin Durant-esque, in my view. So that's exactly the way I looked at it, and I'm glad that he made those comments, aside from the coronavirus comments.
Brad, what's your take on MPJ?
No, I think the Kevin Durant club pairing is brilliant. I think that's exactly the kind of player that he could be, as we've seen. But I don't know what it is. Malone doesn't seem overly convinced, and I don't know if he sees something completely different that we don't see in training or somewhere else. Because I just don't understand. There's been plenty of opportunities that he's had that he could have played him a lot more, and he didn't. And I don't really see why, because he's only going to get better through game time, and if he doesn't get game time, he's not going to get better. So it's tough. But yeah, I'm on that train as well. I'm going for it, full on.
The Bol hype train, the MPJ hype train. I
have a theory. I have a theory about MPJ and Michael Malone thing, because he was a focal point of every team from when he was a little kid. And he came to the Denver Nuggets as a player who wasn't in the college. He didn't play in the college, so he didn't know team basketball. And Michael Malone was doing everything with purpose. Everything was done with purpose. So every single time when he was out, it was a learning curve for him, and it was a learning curve for him. And then now, when we are entering the playoffs, he will play more and more and more. And I think, and I believe strongly, he will be sixth man.
And it's crazy. We've actually went for 18 minutes without even talking about Nikola or Jamal Murray.
Yeah.
It shows you the whole build-up and everything that can happen within the whole point of the season. Just before Jeff comes back, guys, I know you're an NFL fan, Brad. Antonio Brown's been suspended for the first 8 games of the season. I'm going to move on from the NFL very quickly. That's breaking news. Yeah, guys, I mean, it's interesting. Obviously, one thing just before Jeff comes back, I'll start with you, Nemanja. Sacramento Kings have had a player today test inconclusive for COVID-19. Now, they've obviously been in this. Yeah, that's only came out from Woj in the last hour.
I didn't know.
What's your take on that?
I really don't know. Do you know which one? No?
Brad,
maybe Harrison.
Yeah. I don't think.
What is the name?
I'll check.
They didn't publish.
I'll have a look. Yeah, I didn't see that at all.
No, I didn't know. Well, we will see. That's massively complicated things, but we will see what's going on. We don't know what will happen with the world with this virus, so I cannot go anything.
The Sacramento Kings had a player test with an inconclusive result for COVID-19 on Wednesday, but successive negative test results Thursday and Friday, okay, fair enough then, are expected to allow for his availability against the Spurs tonight. So they obviously won't say who it is. Well, Jeff has left us. So, guys, just to finish off this episode, because I'm going to try and get back on tomorrow night after the game, but just to finish off this episode, let's go Nemanja. What do you think, man? We'll start with you and then Brad. What do you think about tomorrow night?
Who, me?
Loss, by how much?
No, I think loss, to be honest. I would like to win, to pull out some Utah Jazz win or Milwaukee thing, because our players, when they are on the wall, when they are pushed on the wall, they play the best. But I think Miami Heat is in the better shape right now, and they need time. I will not take anything bad if we lose, because it's going to be part of the um, playing in, to be in the form. So only because Monte didn't play, we didn't see him. Gary Harris, there are a lot of important players, guards. They didn't play at all with the team. That's why I think we're going to lose. Not because we are less stronger or Miami Heat is better team. No, they are just in the better position right now. Only that.
What do you think, Brad? Do you agree?
I think he's probably right, but I'm going to stick my shirt on my back and not sit on a fence, and I'm saying we're going to go for a win. I think it's going to be Utah Jazz all over again. Backs to the wall, pump it out, and win.
Yeah,
I hope so.
I hope so, man. Like, and the man, I'm really hoping that, like, because Brad, the Serbian show's recording in like an hour and a half, so I'm excited to hear what the other guys think, especially with what the man said. I'm fully much in your corner, Brad. I actually think okay, you can't really go too much in the scrimmage games, but if you look at the first couple of scrimmage games, the Nuggets were down by a considerable amount in both the first and second quarter. If they can start the game strong and stay in it, 7-8 points. If they are behind by 7-8 points, and if it isn't the third, if it isn't the fourth quarter, then they at least have a chance of getting there. But I think they've had a few days off. I mean, Monday was the last day of actually playing, so. Why not? Like, let's see if they can do it. Guys, by the way, and I only seen this, and I know you've seen it, Brad. Jeff's computer's died.
Yeah.
So it's funny, and I think he's trying to come back. So we'll try and keep it on for a couple more minutes until it happens. But
no problem.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting game tomorrow night. I mean, personally, the bookies do have Miami Heat as the favorites over here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, man.
I think it's understandable.
In the US, Denver was favorite.
Look who it is.
Welcome back.
We were about to round
sorry.
up, man. Like,
so sorry.
I only seen your chat thing about saying I have to get a computer charger. I was like, okay, bye.
I was like, holy, you know what? I have to do this because this thing's gonna die. And as soon as I got up, the thing died. So I apologize.
It's okay.
So
Don't worry.
unprofessional of me. It's
Modern
so
technology.
Yeah.
Do not be worrying. We're just saying before you come on there. Well, actually, I'm wrong. The Nuggets are the bookies' favorite over here. They're 4-5 on, and Miami Heat is 21-20 with me. I mean, does that mean anything? No. But Jeff, the last word is with you, my friend. Who wins this game tomorrow night, and why?
I'm gonna go with probably the Heat will win. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Probably,
I said it as well.
Just because what I have seen from this Nuggets team so far in the scrimmages is that they're really discombobulated, and they're just not together yet, and it's going to take some time. And I think these seeding games that they're playing right now will be basically like, I don't know, the preseason and going into the first part of the regular season, to where they're just trying to find themselves. So I kind of predicted they'd have a 4-4 record after these 8 games. So
where'd you see them?
I've had them at 4.
4?
Quattro.
Worst position possible.
Worst. Oh, yes. I mean, like, if you look at those last few games, like you got the Clippers, the Lakers, the Raptors as well. What if the Clippers and Lakers have nothing to play for? That's the hope.
Yeah, it could be. But the Lakers don't have a ton to play for anyway. I think they're 6 games up on the Clippers.
6.5.
Yeah, and now and they played really hard, and I think they're just trying to prove a point. To be honest with you, the Clippers, I don't know. I mean, you can never tell with them, but I think in seeding, it just matters as far as if you're going to play the Lakers in the second round or in the conference finals. So
yeah.
And I will repeat what David from Euroland said about the Avs before we go off here, guys. He said that, look, whoever you play. You're going to have to beat the best to be the best. So we will see what happens tomorrow night. Really excited for this tomorrow night. It's at 6 o'clock on Sky Sports in the UK, and 7 o'clock NBA League Pass on Arena Sports, free for our friends in Serbia, and obviously on Altitude if you can get it. in Denver. Sorry, I had to joke about that.
Fortunately, I have it, so yeah.
I can as well on the League Pass.
Yes, sir. And I have to say, I'm actually enjoying the coverage from Altitude. I mean, Brad, I hope the Sky Sports coverage tomorrow night is the Altitude Sports coverage. That's my hope. But that's all different. Yeah, it probably won't happen.
I'll tell you when I see it. I don't know. Yeah.
Guys, it's been a pleasure. I've really enjoyed it. And if anybody is watching this, we will be back tomorrow night live at some point after the game. See how awake I am at 9 o'clock at night. But don't know who the guests are going to be. Don't know who's going to be on, but we will be on after the game live on Twitter. Nemanja, Brad, and Jeff, thank you guys so much for your time. Appreciate it.
Yep. Thanks, Jeff. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.